Next thing I want to show you guys is the actual plot function. You're going to be using this a lot. The basic plot function is this, just plot close, or any series you can put in here. It will just plot the close. Now you can get a little more complex. There's a bunch of arguments. There's 13 different parameters that you can change and edit. So here, I put this on a separate line for each parameter so you can read it easily. I'm still plotting the close, but now I've added a title for it. I've added a color, changed the color to red. I made the line width, which is basically the width of this line, to 1. And the style this time is actually going to be a histogram. Tracking price basically is this red line here. It'll track the price of the plot. Trans P is transparency. 50 is right in the middle. It's 0 to 100. So 0 is opaque, which is you can see it fully, and 100 would be invisible. You wouldn't be able to see it at all. Hist base. This only applies to if you're using the style of plot style histogram. And that basically takes the histogram and it plots it at 6,000. Offset, that just moves the plot data off by -10 bars. You can do that positive, you can move the plot over here, +10. That's just how to move it back or forward on the x-axis. Join true, that only applies to if you're using different styles like stars or crosses or dots. And that just joins the dots together with a line. Editable, that's for style settings. You can go and change it if it's true. If not, then it won't show up in the styles. And display all, display is just if the plot shows up or not. It's display all or display none. Just to give you an example, this is now, we have the histogram being plotted for the close. And look, histogram base is at 6,000 and it's red. And it's offset by -10. So really it should start here, but it's offset -10 bars. And here's your style. So I can change this from plot style histogram within the actual settings to just a regular line chart. You can't change them all, like the offset doesn't show up in here, but the price line is the track price one. And you can change the color within here. And the transparency. But notice that transparency in here is called opacity. And 100 is actually opaque. And 0 on here is invisible. You also change the thickness. But this opacity is actually the opposite. It's kind of strange. It's the opposite of the transparency here. So if I set this to 100, it would be invisible. But look, opacity in here is set to 0. So it's opposite. And then if I do editable, since that's the only plot I have, and I'm clicking this, editable is false, and nothing even shows up. But I can actually, if I save this other plot, then I should get a settings chart. So this is the only settings that pops up for this one. But because I put editable false, nothing shows up. At least when I only have one plot. And display all just basically turns it on and off. When you're changing the styles, just remember that in version 4, you actually put in the name of the output function that you're using. In this case, it's plot and period, and you can hold Alt and then you press space, and it'll give you all the different styles. So then you can come in here and select the one that you want. You can also do the same thing with display. And there's only display none or display all. So that's the plot function.